Welcome, everyone. We're here today to talk about how to use the Aweber landing page builder. So here's a few things to keep in mind. One, this is a 90-minute class. So expect to stay for around 90 minutes. We'll have an hour of presentation time and then about 30 minutes of Q&A. So this is one of our longer classes. Two, we will email you a replay, like I mentioned. So if you're having technical issues right now, if you can't get it to work, do not worry. We will email you a replay, and I apologize for those technical issues. Three, we would love your feedback. There will be a survey at the end. We read all of your feedback. It means the world to us to hear what you think, and it helps us put on more events like these and make them even better. And then what questions do you have? We'll be taking questions at the end of class. So as we're showing different things, write down your questions so you can remember them, and so that we'll get to them later on. You can even drop them into chat. We are also going to be reviewing your landing pages. We asked you to submit your landing pages for live feedback before this event. And during this class, Chris and I will share copy and design feedback for landing pages that you submitted. We won't get to everyone's landing pages, unfortunately, but we're going to look at as many landing pages as we possibly can. Finally, follow along in your Aweber account. If you're an Aweber customer, open up your Aweber account and follow along with us as we walk through using the builder. That way you can start building your page as we go. And if you're not an Aweber customer, I have a 30-day free trial link you can use to follow along as we build. It's completely free, and that way you can get a jump start on building a page and also trying out Aweber. So I'm going to drop that link in the chat. So you can get that trial. So now I would like to launch a quick poll and ask you, are you currently using the Aweber landing page builder? And there are a few different ways you can answer this question, but I'm going to launch the poll, and so you should see it on your screen right now. So you should see that poll on your screen. We'd love to know, are you using the Aweber landing page builder? You might be using it. You might be using a different landing page tool with your Aweber account. You might not be using landing pages with your Aweber account at all. And you might not be an Aweber customer. That's the final option there. If you're not, that's totally cool. Welcome. We're excited to have you here. So as you're filling out that chat, Chris and I want to quickly introduce ourselves. Chris, you are up first. Chris is our director of product, and I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Welcome, everyone. I'm sorry for the technical issues that are happening right now, but we're so excited to get to talk to everyone today. And I'm sure the replay is going to be just as much fun. And one thing I'll say before jumping into talking about myself is, like, Aweber is always here for you. We have people around 24/7 via chat. We also have email and phone if you need to get in touch with us for a technical problem, or if you just have a question about something. We really love talking to you and helping you do whatever it is to build your business and accomplish what you're trying to do. So I'm the director of product, like Liz mentioned, which means I get to work with our product managers to make sure that we're listening to you about the things you're trying to accomplish in your business. And then we're putting together solutions that let you get to your goals. I love email. I think it's really fun and interesting, and probably the best medium, the best digital medium to connect with your customers. I have a bunch of different newsletters, and I'm going to show you some of the landing pages I've built for those newsletters today as we're walking through this class. But I use the landing page builder in my day-to-day outside of Aweber, and I cannot wait to see what you build. I mean, seeing the stuff that you built and shared already has just been awe-inspiring. That's me.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Chris. And my name is Liz. I'm the Senior Content Marketing Specialist here at Aweber. I like to describe myself as an email marketing nerd. I live and breathe this stuff, and I'm kind of obsessed with it. I've sent millions of emails, and I work with a ton of small businesses to help them launch and refine their email marketing strategies and to help grow their business with email marketing. And here at Aweber, I've seen time and again how powerful email marketing is and how it is truly one of the most effective tools you can use to grow your business. So I'm a huge believer and super glad to be here today. So first, let's jump off into why you should use the Aweber landing page builder. First off, it's powerfully simple. So that means it's both powerful yet simple, and it's easy to use for anyone. You don't need technical skills and you don't need coding knowledge. You can just use our drag and drop editor to simply drag your content into the landing page builder. So you don't need to be a tech wizard. I can use it. Chris is a little bit more technical than me, but if you know me, you know, like if I can use this tool, then anyone can use this tool. 2, save money. It's free for Aweber customers. The landing page builder comes right with your account, so it's 100% free. And then Aweber starts at only $19 a month. The cheapest landing page platforms you can build, you can find, usually go for around $25 a month. That's the cheapest plan, and that doesn't include email marketing. So for $19 a month, you get email marketing and you get landing pages. You also can create unlimited branded pages with the Aweber landing page builder. You can create lead magnet pages, sales pages, video pages, thank you pages, really any type of page you can imagine. And plus you can customize them to your business and to your branding. And finally, save time. There are a few different ways that the Aweber landing page builder helps you save time. But one of them is that there's a shared image gallery in between the Aweber landing page builder and your Aweber email marketing. So that way, when you upload an image into your Aweber account, you can use it for landing pages and emails. 2, Aweber and the Aweber landing page builder integrate seamlessly. So you don't need to set up an integration to pass your email addresses into Aweber and to start sending emails, which is nice because it saves you some time on tech setup. You also get one login instead of 2, which helps simplify your business. But the big one is you can save a lot of money by using the Aweber landing page builder, and it is a very, very powerful tool. And speaking of that, now Chris is going to go in and do a step-by-step tutorial and show you how to build a landing page from scratch. And I'm super excited for this one because Chris is our director of product, so he is a total product geek. I might be the email geek, but he is the Aweber product geek and expert, and it's really great to have him here. So take it away, Chris.
All right, I'm going to try screen sharing. Let's see. Oh no, it said permission denied to start screen share.
Oh no.
Okay, how about now?
Wait, actually, let me remove myself. Now try.
Okay, one sec. Sharing my screen. All right. Whoa. Let me switch away from that, but can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. It's just not the right one.
Any chance you can see it now?
Yes, looks good.
I switched? Okay. So I'm going to show 2 landing pages that I built using the landing page builder, just to give you an idea of some of the flexibility that you have. The first, so I love email and I love product management. Like the job of having to understand a problem that someone is having and provide a solution to it with technology is really exciting to me. And I've been doing it for a while and have learned a bunch of lessons the hard way. So what I decided to do was offer open hours to anyone who's just getting started in product management or is interested in product management just through Twitch, the streaming platform. So I made a little landing page for myself with an image of myself and a little YouTube video, which I'll show you how to add. And that's basically all it is, a very simple landing page that has the value proposition about why you should sign up to receive updates on what I'm planning on talking about, or to have the opportunity to ask questions. Just sign up for my list. And it gives a little background on me, you know, who I am, why should you care, and the sign up form. So that's one, a really simple one. Here is another pretty simple one, also made with Aweber's landing page builder. And this is using our campaigns platform to deliver a daily compliment. So you sign up, you put your email in here, and then the campaigns platform delivers every day a new compliment that you have to find someone to give to. And all it is, the only reason it exists is as a fun thing to encourage people to be kind. But this uses a variety of columns, otherwise pretty simple when it comes to content. What I'm going to show you how to do today is to build a little personal promotion page. So I'm going to hit create a landing page. And now I can pick from a variety of templates. And we've created templates to promote yourself, a simple, more generic sign-up form landing page, a page for promoting a product of yours, a book, because we have a lot of businesses who are using ebooks or PDFs as their lead magnet to attract people to join their list. Then there is a really nice looking simple newsletter sign-up page and a blog sign-up page that gives you a little bit more content area to put more stuff out there. So we're going to walk through the personal promotion landing page setup first. So I'm going to click choose template, and that takes me into the landing page builder. We have tried to set you up for success by including content that you can just replace. And I'm going to do that right now and make a landing page about myself for my audience to sign up for. The first thing I'm going to update is my logo. If you don't have a logo and you're just looking to build a personal promotion page, you can either delete this entirely, or you could pull in a text element and put, like, my name is Chris Vasquez. You can't really see that. So I'm going to highlight my text here, and I'm going to change it to white. I'm going to click to select the text size and beef it up a little bit. Let's say 32. Let's make it bold. And I want a more interesting font. I'm a big fan of this Merriweather. I think it looks pretty cool when it's bold. And then I'll center that. So if I wanted, I could have just my name in text here instead of this logo image. Now I have a pretty neat little monogram that I'm pretty happy with. So instead, I'm just going to click on this. And I could either upload a new image or choose an image from my image gallery. Now, I believe, yeah, I had previously uploaded this image, but if I wanted to upload a new image, I could just either click on upload image or drag the image right onto this drop zone and drop it. But like, let's say I was adding from scratch. I'll pick my image, it'll upload. I can select it. And now this is too big for what I need. So I'm going to set this to be, let's say maybe 80 pixels. Well, I said 80, but I typed 70. I think I want 80 pixels wide. And I don't want it to be full width on mobile. I want it to stay 80 pixels wide. So now you can see I have my little logo in there. Liz, you can still hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Awesome. So now I'm going to replace this image. And this template works a little differently than our other templates. If you have an image in this column, it's going to fill that column up. So as you resize the screen, it'll reflow, but always fill that. So now I'm going to, whoops, I already have my image in my image gallery. And like Liz mentioned, one of the neatest things about this is this image gallery is shared between all of your landing pages and all of your emails. So if you want to use the same logo in your email and your landing page, it's just there waiting for you in your image gallery. So here's my image. And the last thing I'm going to do, I have to customize my content here. So Liz, like, I would love your opinion on this. When I'm trying to set a headline for my landing page about myself and my personal insights that I want to share with people about product management, what might a good headline, what's important for a good headline?
So a good headline is going to tap into a pain point someone might have that you can solve for them. So maybe it's that it's difficult to find great product knowledge, and this is insider information coming from someone who's a director of product and works on these teams.
Great. So maybe something like, are you looking for, and tell me if this is dumb. I'm not a copywriter. How about expert opinion or expert information from product? See, you could tell I'm not a copywriter.
Yeah, something that speaks to the benefit to the reader.
So how about something like grow your knowledge of product management or something like that?
Sure. It's a good working title.
Thank you. You're so kind. Okay, and then here we have this boilerplate copy that gives some really awesome guidance on what you want to talk about when you're talking about when you're presenting your newsletter. So I could say, are you an aspiring product manager or interested in SaaS products? Those are software as service products. And just for shorthand, I'm not going to fill the whole thing out. And then I could just say sign up and you'll receive weekly emails with product management lessons. And I could have other bullet points too, like the recommendations for the best product software. Darn it. It's always so scary to be typing on these webinars. So this is great. I won't spend too much time on this though. But now if I preview my my landing page, I have a nice little landing page here. It looks really clean. It'll be responsive on mobile devices. So I've got my little mobile landing page here. But now let me walk into some of the really fun and magical stuff. I have all of my content laid out. Let me think about how I could hook this up to my campaigns, for example. So I click on my landing page form and you'll see that I have a number of options. If I don't want to capture the name, like if I just want a really slim email capture, I can turn that off. But I'd really encourage you to ask your subscribers for their name when they sign up, so you can use that to personalize your emails in the future. That just the level of first name personalization, especially if you add it to the body of your email and not just the subject line, can make your content feel a lot more personal and direct. You also have the ability to show a privacy policy, which is standard from our web forms. You can change the button color. So if I want something closer to the purple in my image, I could do that. I can apply that. And then I can set custom thank you pages for people who've already subscribed to my list. And this is a pro tip here. You should definitely create custom landing pages for your thank you page and already subscribed pages using the same builder. So once I'm done creating this page, I can jump out and make a copy of this landing page and turn it into a thank you page. That way I not only have my sign up landing page, but I also have a thank you page. And I can show you to do that if I don't end up running too long. The last thing is the ability to add tags. So if you're familiar with campaigns, you can have campaigns, which are automated sequences of emails, trigger when someone either signs up for your list or receives a tag. So if I wanted people who signed up from this page to get a specific welcome email, I could set this form to add the tag personal page. So now anyone who signs up through this form will get the tag personal page. So when I'm searching my subscribers or creating a segment, I could easily create a segment of people who signed up through this landing page. If I had a specific lead magnet, like a downloadable PDF or checklist that I wanted to promote through this landing page, I can set a campaign that triggers based on this tag. And actually, Liz, I'm going to jump out of landing pages for just a quick second to show what that would look like, because this is a really powerful use case for landing pages. I'll be right back into it. So remember here, I've set this tag personal page. So here's my landing page. Oh, and I didn't give it a title. I'll come back and do that. But I'm going to jump into my campaigns. I'm going to create a new campaign that is a lead magnet delivery template. So we have a number of templates here that'll help you get started with your campaigns. And I'll call this personal lead magnet. Let's say that I was offering a lead magnet through that landing page. Like if you sign up, you'll get my top 10 tips on product management. Now I can easily change this from being fired for all subscribers to only people who get a specific tag. And then over here, I can say that I only want to start this campaign if people get the tag personal landing page. I don't remember if that was the tag, but so there's my personal landing page tag. So I have this campaign. I'm going to turn it on. It says anyone who gets the personal landing page tag, they're then going to automatically be sent this message. So if I jump back into landing pages, jump back into my landing page, and make sure that personal landing page is applied when people sign up, I get a little notification telling me what's going to happen. So it's saying anyone who signs up through this form will also get added to the personal lead magnet campaign. And there I have a little funnel. So this is a really simple example of that. It's a sign up form on a landing page and a campaign with one message in it, but you could do any number of really interesting things with your landing pages and campaigns. It's one of the most exciting use cases that we see. So I'm just going to call this personal page really quick. Now, one last thing I want to, well, actually, I have two things to show you. We recently updated our social element here, and it's really neat and hopefully easy to use. The way that it works is you can add a link to whatever site you want to link out to. So in this case, this is to a Facebook page for Get Shelf Help. That's cool. It has this little Facebook icon here. But let's say I also wanted to add my Twitter here. So I just put that link in, and I'll add that. And automatically, there's the little Twitter icon. It went out and detected it just based on the URL structure alone. So if let's say I had a Vimeo.com channel, I don't have one in mind right now, but if I add that, it just adds the little Vimeo logo. Vimeo's a video hosting marketplace. And let's do one more. What's a fun one? YouTube, maybe. So youtube.com/Aweber. And there you go. Now I have my 4 little icons. And if I'm not happy with the white version of them, I have some customization options. I could change it to black, or I could change it to the brand colors of those sites. And if those are a little small, let me beef them up. That's a little big, so I'll just do the medium version. And the last thing I might do is put them in little circle icons. But as easy as that, I have links out to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Vimeo, and my YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, let me show you how to add a video. So here's my little video container. I drag that in from the side. And all I have to do is grab a link to a video on YouTube, drop that in there. And there you have it. It automatically embeds a YouTube video. It'll do the same thing for Vimeo as well if you want to use a Vimeo video. All I was doing there was adding a little bit of space between the video and my text. So if I preview my landing page now, I have my nice logo and a picture of this fine fellow. I have an embedded YouTube video and a form that if someone signs up, they'll automatically get that campaign delivered to them, and 4 icons that link out to other places I live on the internet. Now, I actually just noticed something that I want to make sure everyone's aware of. When we upload images, or when you upload images, we create an optimized version of them that cuts down on the file size to make the page load faster. But in an instance like this, where I have a really big image, you can see that it's a little blurry on the edges and a little artifacted, which would be fine if it was smaller. But because it's so big, I'm going to use the original, and that'll clear it up a whole lot. So now it's a lot nicer and crisper and cleaner looking. one or two more little customization options I want to show you. The first is, if I want, I can set a background image on this this page, which is a really nice little feature. So let's say I want to pick an image from the image gallery, and just for the sake of it, because I'm a summer guy, I love summer, I'm going to use that as a background image. And if this is too crazy for me, which it is, you can pull back on the opacity if you just want a little bit of texture added. And I might turn this to like true black or something, just to give it kind of a neat look. Maybe something like that. But if you don't want a background image, you can easily remove the background image and just have a background color. It's really up to you. The last little piece I'll show you is this settings area. There's a lot of power in this little tab. First up, I'm going to show you all a neat tool. I'm going to go ahead and publish this page so I can show a few things. So if I were to share this page that I just made, so it's published right now, simple as that. Oh, that looks kind of cool with that inner tube in the background. But if I were to share this on social media, this is called the Facebook Sharing Debugger. It's at developers.facebook.com/tools/debug. If you ever want to see how your pages are going to look when they're shared in the feed, you can just drop it here. I've never shared this before, so it needs to fetch information. And this is the way it would appear in the feed right now, which is not the way I want it to appear. Like, I want it to have a cool image and all sorts of neat stuff. And to do that, you have to jump into your page. And in the settings tab, we're going to customize a couple things. I'm going to set my page title to be something like a newsletter from Chris Vasquez. I'm going to set my page description to grow your product management knowledge. And then I'm going to set an image. I'm going to pull this from my image gallery because I already uploaded one. And here, a couple little notes. If you want this to show up as a big card in Facebook, it needs to be at least 600 pixels wide. But now that I've updated this, my changes, you'll notice, aren't public yet. Just to make sure that you don't accidentally push changes that you weren't ready to push yet, we do have you have to click on the publish button and update with your changes. We don't automatically do that for you. So now my changes should be out there. So if I go over here and I scrape again, it might take a couple seconds, but yeah. Right, so it didn't pull my image for some reason. But there it is. Great. So now you see that it has my nice image, it has my title, and it has my description. One last section I want to show you in the landing page builder is, we know that your landing pages are likely to be part of a broader business that you're running. Maybe you already have a website and you're using these landing pages to augment that website or promote a specific product or service. But we've added a couple things to help with that. First, if you want your landing pages tracked in Google Analytics, you can grab your Google Analytics ID and drop it right here in this field. And then any visits to this page will be viewable in your Google Analytics for your site. And if you're using Facebook for advertising or conversion tracking or anything like that, and you need to track conversions to your list or to your site, you can drop your Facebook pixel ID right in here, and it'll be automatically added to your page. That is basically how we set up a nice, flexible, pretty neat looking little personal promotional landing page. Liz, any questions that I can address that might have been coming in?
Hi, Chris. Yeah, we had one question. Someone asked, and I've heard this question before, so it's a good thing to cover. Does the video act like an embedded video? So does it play on page?
It does. I won't make you watch my video, but it actually pulls the video in and is playable, whether it's a YouTube video or a Vimeo video.
Awesome. And then, so one advantage of using Vimeo, just a side note here, one advantage of using Vimeo is it doesn't, if I'm correct, it doesn't have that little link. You can see on this video, there's a YouTube icon that people can click on to visit YouTube. One of the cool things about Vimeo is it has a bit more of a tailored experience, and you don't have to have that icon there, which is nice. And then another, Chris asks, is the landing page hosted on Aweber servers?
It is hosted by Aweber, like our broadcast archive or our images as well. It's all, and you'll notice the URL right now looks something like this, where it's an ID for your account and aweberpages.com, and then a string for your page. Now, we've heard some feedback from people using the landing pages that they'd like to be able to customize that, completely understand it, and we have that in mind as a future feature.
Awesome. And then one more question before we move on to the next part is, Chris, do you find, and this is from Nina, Nina asks, do you find video very effective in landing pages, more effective than only an image?
It depends on what you're doing. We actually were just having a conversation on our internal Slack about one of our customers' landing pages who has a YouTube channel. Like what they're promoting with their landing page is video content, but they didn't have any video on the landing page because they're driving people from their video channel on YouTube to the landing page and don't want to distract people from the primary call to action. So I'd say it depends on two things. Depends on how you're getting people to your site and what you're selling. So if you have a product where a demo of that product is really compelling, or if you have a testimonial that's really compelling, I'd say sure, definitely experiment with video. But if you're promoting something like a lead magnet that's a checklist for activities that are important to do to stay healthy while we're socially distancing, or if you have like a recipe book, it might be better to drive someone to just a simple landing page where the primary thing is a form, and not include video for something like that, especially if you're driving paid ads to that page.
Yeah. And then we actually did get a couple more questions in, which I hope that you can answer for us.
Sure.
One is Michelle asks, can you set the name field to be required?
You cannot set the name field to be required yet. It's an optional field. The only required field is email.
Got it. And then Dan asks, does Aweber integrate with Stripe?
There are a number of ways that you could integrate with Stripe using something like Zapier. But I would love to talk more about that and what the specific use case is. Because the one thing that I really should have led off with is when we launched landing pages, we made the commitment to everyone, our users, that we were going to be listening for feedback and actively developing the feature. And we've been really trying to do that. Like when we launched, we didn't have support for video in landing pages. That was by far the most requested feature. So we built it and we got it out. We didn't have the Google Analytics and Facebook Pixel stuff, but we got that out. We saw that people wanted more, an easier setup for social elements, and more flexibility with that element. So we got that out as well. And I say that to say, if you have ideas or use cases that would help your business succeed and you grow your audience more successfully, please let us know, because we're really trying to build a tool that that isn't for us, but is for you.
Great. And are you going to show off a thank you page?
Yeah, sure. I will do that. Okay. So another full disclosure, we're about to add some more templates to our template library for things like thank you pages and for e-commerce landing pages as well. But for the time being, I'm just going to start with one of our existing pages and customize it. So I'm going to use this logo Ipsum one because it's pretty simple and straightforward. So my thank you page, I told you I was going to do this differently by copying my previous landing page, but I actually want to show you something that will be better if I start from scratch. So I have my logo here. It's centered, and I'm going to use an image from my image gallery. I'm going to pull my logo in there, set it to 80 pixels wide. There we go. I'm going to change my background color to something closer to what it was before. And I don't need a sign up form in this case. I just need the ability to say thank you. So thank you for signing up. And I can delete all the rest of this stuff. So, oh shoot, I didn't actually change the background color. I'm going to change this to be white. And now, why did I do it this way instead of the other way? Because I wanted to show you some of the layout controls that you have that I think a lot of people aren't aware of. So landing pages are made up of rows and columns. So this is a row that has 2 columns in it. And I have a fair amount of control over how these columns behave. So let's say I wanted to, in this side, say your checklist should be in your inbox right now. So here's my thank you page, but it's kind of weird how they're not centered, you know, how this goes down further than this one. So if I want them to be vertically centered, I can click over here and click on this little alignment thing, and now they are vertically centered, which is pretty cool. And if I want to change the background color of any of these columns, I can. So if I want to go in here and make it this, why have I been picking the worst colors? But let's say I want to make it that purple. And I want to change this color to white. Now I have a little purple box here. But let's talk about some good things to have on your thank you page. I am a big believer that you should, in just about every case, be using double opt-in or confirmed opt-in for your list. And what that means is when someone signs up for your list, the first message that they're going to get is something that Aweber will send automatically, asking them to confirm that they were interested. And this will get you, well, let me be clear. You'll probably end up with fewer absolute subscribers if you are COI, because some people won't confirm. But the quality of people who are on your list will most likely be much higher than if you're using a single opt-in list, because not only will they have signed up, but they'll also have taken the extra step of clicking to confirm that they really wanted your content. So what I would do instead of this is, actually, let me show you a thank you page I have in my real account. So I think it's on my personal one. Yeah, so this is an example of a thank you page I made. It's when somebody signs up for my list, they land on this page. There's just a little celebratory thank you, something to continue carrying my brand and my feeling through to the landing page. And then I do a few things. I thank them for signing up, and I tell them that there's one more thing that they have to do, and that is that they need to click through the link in the confirmed opt-in email I just sent them. So I tell them that they should have received an email from me asking for them to confirm that they're really interested. Yeah.
Are you said you're showing off your landing page or your thank you page?
Yes.
We can't see that right now. Right now, we're just seeing the black thank you page.
Shoot.
Do you have it set up so that you're presenting just one window?
I'm in the same window. Let me try again. I'm going to try stop sharing. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and try again.
Okay.
Okay. Share my screen. I'm going to share. Okay. Can you see
There
it
we
by any
go.
chance?
Yeah, now I can see
Nice.
it.
Okay. It was worth the wait, right?
Yes.
um, but basically, so I have this list is confirmed opt-in. So when they sign up, they get an opt-in message, and I'm telling them that they should have received an email from me asking them to confirm. And if they really are interested, just to click the link in the message, and they'll get their first welcome message, because I have a welcome email set up to go out automatically when somebody signs up. It's as simple as that. Now, you can get more explicit by asking people to check their spam folder if they don't see your message immediately, or to add the email address that you're sending from to their address book or to whitelist you. But I decided to take a simpler approach. Liz, do you have any suggestions for good thank you pages?
Yeah, so I mean, when I write a thank you page, there's a few things that I put in. One, just make sure people know that they successfully subscribed. Two, I usually always direct people back to the inbox. So if you can get them to go back to the inbox and view your welcome email, so you should always have an automated welcome email set up. And that's the first email that you automatically send to subscribers right after they subscribe. And the reason you want to direct people to the inbox is so that you can start building a habit of them seeing your emails, that they can become familiar with what your emails look like, and that they're immediately starting to go and interact with your emails. And one of the things I'll do is if you actually promise a lead magnet on your landing page, I don't actually give it to them on the thank you page. And the reason that I do that is because sometimes people put in fake email addresses just to get the lead magnet. So if it's on the thank you page, they'll get the lead magnet with a fake email address. But if you deliver it via the welcome email, then they need to give you a real email address to get the lead magnet.
Good call.
And plus, an added bonus of that is they have access to it forever. You know, people don't usually bookmark your thank you page, but if it's in their inbox, they can save that in a folder and access it later. And we do actually have a couple quick questions, which I think you can address now. Robin asked, "Can you change the font color of the fonts?"
Yes, you can. So if I want to change my whole paragraph or my whole text element, I can select it all, or I could just select a single word. Then up here in this bar, you have a number of different text controls. The colors are here, so I can change my text foreground color. Like, let's say I want it to be purple. It's not a great color because it's not going to come through super well. But I can also change my background color. Like if I wanted to have a highlight effect, I could do something like that.
Cool. And in the same way, you can change the color of the font in the form, right?
The font in the form, not yet.
Okay.
That's a feature that is forthcoming. We've heard feedback about that, and we're working on it.
Great. Cool. So if you're done demoing the landing page builder, then we can start critiquing some live pages, unless you have more to show, Chris.
Oh, yeah, I never showed the row customization. I'm going to do that really quickly. So to add a new row of content, you just pull this row element in here, drop it there, and then if I wanted to do something like add 3 columns for images, I can just do that. So I have my 3 columns here. And I can now, let's say I want to put an image in this one, pick one from my image gallery, or I'll just use one of these. How about that one? And also some text. Let's just say, here's some text. I really want to show off something specific that I feel is often missed and can make your landing page so much better. But let's say I just actually want 2 columns here. So I'm going to select this column and delete it. Now you notice that this text is squished right up against this image, which really doesn't look very good. You have control in each of your columns on the amount of padding from the outside of the column that you have. So let's say I want to make sure that this is not squished right up against that image. I can add 30 pixels of padding to every side, top, bottom, left, and right. And now it fits much more comfortably off to the side. Things like padding and spacing, as we're working through some of the critique sessions, they can make a world of difference between your your landing page feeling just slightly unfinished and it feeling really polished.
Cool. And can you show again how you added those columns?
Sure. So I'm going to start over again. I'm going to pull in this row, drop it there. If I want 2 columns, I can go over to the row settings, which is over here on the side. I can add a column to the right, or let's say I have an image in this column and I want a column on the left. I can just select that first column and then add a column to the left.
Great.
Makes
Thank you.
sense?
Cool. Yep. And then someone asked the logo placeholder that we have in many of the landing page templates. Can you delete that row if you want to?
So let me show you that really quickly, because I think I know what you're getting at. The row itself you can't delete. So I can delete this element, but the row is part of the template that has specific behaviors about it. Like it'll always stay up near the top of the page. Now, even though you can't delete it, if it's empty, it won't appear. So like, here's my page, and you see that here, it looks like there's something there, but there really isn't. So when I go to preview, it's just gone. This content is just set to center on the page.
Awesome. Cool. All right, cool. Let's jump into landing page critiques. I know there are a lot of questions out there in the questions window. Don't worry, we're going to have some time allotted for questions, for some more questions. We won't be able to get to everyone's questions, but we'll try to get to as many as we can. But now we want to go through and give some feedback on some of the landing pages that you submitted to us before this class. So we're going to go through and share some feedback.
Okay, great. So I think we have it set up to start with Sean's.
Awesome.
So I don't know, do you want to give feedback first, or do you want me to?
Sure. I mean, yeah, I think if I give feedback from a content perspective and then you give feedback from a design perspective, that would be great. And we can mix it in as well. And if you have feedback on my feedback, go for it.
Okay.
So something that we both think about this page, Sean, is that we both think you could make this page convert higher if you had a lead magnet. So if you offer a freebie or lead magnet in exchange for people subscribing. And I have a couple recommendations. Since you're an author, I have a couple recommendations on what you could do. You could offer the first chapter, the first couple chapters of your book as a lead magnet. You could also offer like a sneak peek of an upcoming book or behind the scenes notes or videos on how you wrote or produced the book. But a lead magnet or a freebie is going to increase your conversion rates because people like to opt into your email list to get something in exchange for that. And then along that, I would provide more details on what people get when they do subscribe. So what benefits will you give them as a subscriber? Why should they subscribe to your list? And then I would make your headline more benefit focused. So right now it's your name and it's kind of like your professional title and then the word newsletter. So instead I would go with something like get early access to new book releases and more, or something that is a benefit focused headline that explains what people are going to get out of subscribing to your list. You could also have a headline that talks about like joining an insider club to get early access to book releases, behind the scenes videos, and more. And so it would also be just more descriptive on this page of what people are getting when they subscribe. So what value are they getting? And really explain the kind of content you're going to have in your newsletter. You also have your books on the right-hand side there. And I really love your cover art. It's awesome. But this is technically a second call to action on your page. You're telling people on your landing page, oh, if you want to check out my books, you can click on them over there and there's links to them there. Now, one of the downsides of doing this is that when you have two call to actions, sometimes people are going to click on your books and they won't end up subscribing to your list. People get overwhelmed very easily by multiple call to actions. So my recommendation would be to actually not link off to the books on your landing page and instead promote your books in your welcome email. So as soon as people get your welcome email after subscribing via this page, you can talk about all the books you have authored and you've launched and provide Amazon link access to those so people can buy them or wherever they can buy those books. And that way you're kind of sharing who you are as an author in that welcome email, but you also have a much more focused landing page. And final note, I would try some more descriptive copy on your purple call to action button. Instead of sign up, you might say join my list or join the insider club or subscribe now. So there's different more descriptive call to actions you could try there to get people to opt in at a higher rate. What do you think about the page, Chris? What feedback do you have?
First of all, Liz, that was awesome. You're so good at that.
Thank you.
And I agree with everything you said there. The big one for me is the calls to action. Like if you want people to sign up for your list, focus them on signing up for your list. And email is a great, great conversion tool to help get people who care about your content to purchase it. So I've just a couple little fixes that I think will go a long way to make the page just feel more complete. The first is to get, and by the way, I created copies of all these landing pages. We're not messing with anyone's landing page directly, but if we make any changes that you are interested in us helping you implement, please just let me know and I'll help you out. But this is a logo placeholder that we should get rid of. So I'm just going to delete that. And again, if you don't have a logo that you want to put there, that's perfectly fine. Like if you're directing people to this page from social media, this is great. And if you want to do something like slug in a faux logo, you can just pull it into, oops, Sean, because we removed your name from the headline. We're going to put it in here as a really simple logo placeholder. So I'll set that to maybe 22 or something like that. And I've got a cool little page here. Now here is, I've just done something that I need to fix. Like I just showed the padding. It's really important that your padding is consistent and you're maintaining really, like, you can think of it as a grid. So here you can see this Sean is over a little too far. So if I look at this element, click into it, it shows me that there are 16 pixels of padding on the right and 16 on the left. So I want to make sure that this column has that same 16 pixels on the right and 16 pixels on the left. Now everything just lines up so much more nicely. The other thing I would do is, this book artwork is really awesome. I'm just wondering if we could get more bang for the from the actual imagery if we just showed one. I could be off here. There are a number of ways we could do this, but either I would just show one and let it really shine. So I'm going to delete one of these, and I'm going to set this to auto width, fill the width of this container. And now I think that looks pretty rad. I'm a big fantasy reader. Like I love that stuff. So just the artwork here is really compelling to me. And I might now, just so it doesn't take up the whole entire page, drag this column, let it still take up a lot of vertical space, but not completely take over the page.
That looks great.
A couple of the things I would do here now is I would vertically align this column. So I'm going to select column 1 and set it to center. And the last thing I'm going to do is, I am a stickler for padding and space between elements. And in my mind, this is just too close together. So I'm gonna add some padding to this column, the second column. So I got to click into this row, select the second column, and I'm going to add, say, 16 is our number. So I'm going to add 16 pixels of padding to every edge. Now it's looking pretty good. I might make it a tiny bit bigger, so it's a little taller than this area is tall. But there we go. I'm going to do just one final thing. This is looking good on the phone as well. But my last little thing is, I'm going to use a site called Unsplash. And Unsplash has all sorts of really cool imagery that is free for use, whether it's commercial use or personal. I'm going to try and find an image that works as a texture for this page, because I think this page would look awesome if it had some sort of texture. And I did not prepare this beforehand, so hopefully I find something cool. Whereas which of these looks rad? It's got to be kind of dark. Whoops.
Well, the middle one's definitely the darkest. I like the texture on the right though.
Yeah, I know that does look really cool. I might, just for the sake of this, what I really wanted to show is that Unsplash is a great resource if you're looking for background imagery or stock photography that also looks beautiful and doesn't look cheesy. So I downloaded this thing. I'm going to jump in here and oops, I'm just going to drop it right into this drop zone. Let's see how that looks. This might look dumb. If it does, I'll just delete it. You're kind of, ooh, that actually looks kind of mean. I like that.
Ooh.
So I'm going to pull that back a little and I'm going to darken this background color. Yeah, okay. I'm feeling that. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. And so this texture is light enough, like I turn the opacity down enough that it's not really conflicting with the text. The text is still readable. If it was difficult to read, I might pull the opacity down even just a little more. But since there is so much negative, like open space in this page, it just adds a little bit of interesting texture to it. The last thing you'd have to do in this case is jump in and customize your social links. But like I showed before, we made that a whole lot easier. You just copy and paste a link in and it'll fill it out for you.
That looks great, Chris. And it's cool to see how a few small design tweaks can make a huge difference. And this page looks really awesome. It looked great before too, but I love the cover art of the book and how this just highlights it so much more because the image is bigger. Can you just walk people through really slowly one more time how you're adjusting columns and how you're adding padding? Because
definitely.
A few people are need that walkthrough a bit slower.
All right, so let me show you this. I'm going to start from scratch. Well, I'm not going to delete everything, but let's say I wanted to change the column width of this row. So I can click into the row, and then you see these light blue lines. These are my column containers. And I can just click to grab one of them. And now I'm holding down my mouse button, and I can just drag back and forth to make it whatever size that you want. Like you may see in other tools that they lock down the control that you have, and they do that for a variety of reasons. But we feel like it's important that you're able to build the page that you want. And we try and give you the tools to do that. So if I wanted to add more columns, I could, and then I can change the width of these columns further, but I really don't want this column. I liked it better the other way. But the padding, that works in a way that if I click into this column that contains my image, the padding is in the column settings section. It's these 4 values. It's the top, and you can think about this as spacing from the edge of this blue line. So if I wanted for some reason to have a ton of spacing on the bottom, I could put 100 pixels here. And now you see there's a bunch of empty space underneath it. And that is how padding and column alignment works. The last little bit about this that I showed a couple times in different ways, but I just want to be really clear about it, is you can align your different columns. So I can say I'm selected, or I have selected this left column, column 1. I can either choose to have it aligned to the top of the row, the bottom of the row, or the middle of the row.
Awesome. Cool. All right, so for the sake of time, let's jump into our next page because we are running tight on time. This page is actually from Nina Manelson.
Oh, I love this one.
This is from Nina. Thanks for submitting, Nina. I think Nina's here. If you can give a shout out in the chat, Nina. But I really love this page. Hi, Nina. So Nina is here. So there's a couple things that I love about this page. Nina, you have an eye for copy, and I love some of the things you're doing here as far as copy. You use some really effective curiosity copy, like discover the profound technique that shifts how, what, and why you eat. So just saying discover the profound technique and not explaining what that technique is on the sales page really gets people curious and wanting to know what this technique is and how you can help them change how they're eating. One suggestion I have for that headline is, instead of saying how, what, and why you eat, maybe you could be more specific and target a specific pain point here. So, for example, discover the profound technique that'll stop you from binge eating forever. And that might be totally inaccurate to your 5 days of free coaching. Your coaching may not help people with that at all, but just an example of how you could be more specific. But I love how you tackle pain points below your first form. You used to have this quote that says, "I wish I hadn't eaten that." And I think
Oh
that's
yeah, I
really
love this.
powerful. Yes, I think it's so powerful because that is a pain point that so many people feel. The moment we eat something, we're like, "I wish I hadn't eaten that." And when you're writing copy, one of the things you want to do, one of the things that really effective pages do, is people feel such empathy with what you're writing, and they feel themselves in your copy. Like, wow, this person knows me so well. They know exactly what I'm struggling with, and they know how to solve this pain point for me. So that might even be user feedback that you got, Nina. So that might be from a customer who had told you, "I wish I hadn't eaten that." Or it might just be, the pain points of your audience so well that you can just quote them like that. But I think that's really powerful. You might actually want to consider moving that to the top of your page as a primary headline, because that is such a common pain point that people feel. And as soon as they see that at the top of your page, you're gonna be like, "Oh wow, I feel that way all the time. Can this coaching help me not do that anymore?" So I think that's awesome. At the bottom of the page, you list your bio and professional certifications. And it's a little bit buried down there. And you have a ton of professional certifications and a ton of proof of your expertise and how much you know. So I might actually create a more highlighted section on your page that explains who you are and talks about your expertise and why you are the person that people should come to and trust about this topic. Because I saw at the bottom of the page and I couldn't help thinking, wow, Nina has all of this expertise and all of these amazing skills, but I didn't see this until I got to the bottom of the page. Oh, I love your bullet points. They're really effective bullet points. Could you actually pull them up, Chris?
I have them on screen. Yeah.
Awesome. So again, these are really great because they're specific and they create curiosity. So the first bullet is learn one simple technique that'll let you say goodbye to mindless eating and hello to loving nourishment. So it's creating curiosity because you have this one simple technique and you're wondering what it is. And it's showing how she's resolving pain points for her audience, or it's explaining that it will resolve pain points because you're saying goodbye to mindless eating and hello to loving nourishment. So it's a benefit plus a pain point that she's showing that she's going to solve for audience members. And plus, she removes doubt. So sometimes people will have doubt about that your course or that your product is going to work for them. But she says you can do it anywhere and anytime. Those might be two common doubts your audience has, like this isn't the right time, or I can't do this at this point in my life. So she's removing those doubts. And that's something you should do in your copy. So curiosity, benefits, pain points, and she's removing doubts. And she does that throughout her bullets, which I think is really, really effective. And then there's a lot of awesome copy on this page, but I'm hoping that Chris can provide some tips because I think it sometimes feels a bit content heavy, but it's good copy. So I think some design elements can really help break that up. So I'm going to pass it off to Chris for his design critique.
Yeah, my biggest thing is, and I know that if you talk to any designer, they will tell you that the thing they hear or they hate hearing most is that something should be above the fold. That is, like, it should be on screen when you first view it without needing to scroll. But there's a lot of evidence that you should be putting your most important call to action above the fold. So the first thing I would do is I would change the way that this hero section is handled. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this form next to the image instead of below it. So we're going to do some column management. I'm going to get rid of this left-hand column, so I'm just left with 2. And I'm going to pull the form over here. And I'm also going to pull the title, the date call out up here. And now I'm going to go through some of the steps that I had previously done to update my padding. So my padding on this column is 24, 30, and 30. I'm going to change that and just make it 24 all around. And I'll do the same thing over here. So I have 24 top, right, bottom, and left. And now I'm going to vertically center that. And I might pull this headline to the top. So now in my preview, you know what? Actually, Liz, I'm going to get rid of this for the time being. I really love the suggestion. I just don't have a good design treatment in mind for it yet.
Go for it.
And I don't want it to. Yeah, I'll come back to that later if we have time. And the other thing is I'm going to add some space. Actually, I'm going to leave that for a second. So now we have a hero that really pulls all of the content to the top of the page. So there's a couple other stuff that I would want to clean up here. Like I had added some space around this headline that I don't need anymore. But now everything is right then and there. And it still conforms well on mobile devices. I might want to actually cut out some of that padding that I had put in. But the point is that my form is right here and I don't have to scroll. Like if I've directed somebody here from social media who's already predisposed to want to sign up for it, I'm not putting any friction in their way of signing up. They don't have to scroll. They don't have to discover. The form is just right there. And the thing I might do now that there's no text box here is I might remove the padding from the image. Whoops. Let's set that to 0. So that image is going to be nice and big there. The form is right next to it. There we go. That looks a little better. All right. So now the second principle I would say is that we could use some consistent spacing and more consistent hierarchy of text, because there's a bunch of combinations of color, font family, and font size that are going on here. And it can make it difficult to understand, like, what is the flow of the page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some elements consistently. So if you see over here, this is essentially a section header. So it's not the title for my page, but it is an H2. It's a heading number 2. So I'm going to click on that. It's my H2. And another thing that I'm going to do is, so my padding on this is 24, 24, 24. I'm going to apply that to all my columns to start, just so I have some consistency there. So 24, 24, 24, 24. So at least all of my gridding is going to be there. And I can add more if I need to. So here's my section heading. Have you ever thought, I wish I hadn't eaten that. I know what I should be eating, but I just can't stop the mindless eating. I feel out of control. All of these quotes are they fall in line in at the same level in terms of hierarchy under this H2. So I'm going to set them to all be the same to start. So let's set them as 18 weight, or 18 size. They'll be using Lotto, all using the same font family. And the line height will be 1.5, so everything's consistent. And I'm also going to set all of their colors to be white. Because what I would do here is, if I want to call out a block quote, a quote like this, I do it in one of two ways. Is I would either do something to indent the text, like if I was left aligned instead of centered, I might indent the text consistently. But in this case, these are all really interesting quotes, like Liz was saying. So I'm going to break them out as their own rows and set some background color on them. It's a little extra work, but it's worthwhile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this row, and I want to remove all of the stuff below my quotes from the original row. So that's gone, and I don't need this divider anymore. So I'm going to delete that. Now I'm going to start making rows for each of my quotes. So I'll pull one in. Whoops. Pull a new row in. And shoot. I will pull, I'll just have a single quote in here. Where's my delete? So I wish I hadn't eaten that is going to be my first quote. And now to really set it apart and stylize it, I'm going to set a background color. Maybe just for the purpose of argument, I'm going to set that to be white and set my text color to be a very dark gray. So now I have a big block quote here that I can do some fun stuff to. And the reason I'm doing this in blocks like this is because in the original case, I had this shape that you see that was kind of flowing in and out in a way that was difficult to follow, like what was the most important. And there's still going to be different lengths, the text, but the elements that they live in, these white blocks, are going to be consistently the same size. So I wish I hadn't eaten that is going to be my first one. Oops. Then I'm going to copy that row and pull my next quote into it. Just copy and paste that in there. And I'm going to copy that row again and pull my final quote into it. Oops. And then I can delete these up here. And I'll recenter that. And now one last thing I'll do is I do want some space between all of these things. These all have to be 24. So I'm going to pull in a few additional rows that are just going to act as spacers. Let's see if that works. Does that give me what I'm hoping? Now I guess I'm going to have to pull an empty text element into each of these. And I'm not going to have time to go through all of this, but here you're starting to see just a little bit more structure to my page. So have you ever thought these things? Well, no problem, because Nina has a solution for you. And here we've just kind of condensed that same information into something that has a little bit more, structure to it. Now, the last little bit of tweaking I might do to this is these whites, just to this top section, these white sections are a little too like blazing white. So I'm going to pull them down to be not pure white. And now that I've applied that color, I can just click on the color picker and you'll see that it's in my recently used colors. You just click on it again and I can click on it one more time. There I have it. And if I do want to carry through some of the cool colors that Nina has here, I can copy that color. And if I want, I can make the text in here all that cool. Well, actually, that doesn't work as that color, but let's see if maybe it works as a background color. Yeah, I could maybe try applying that as a cool background color. Now, the last big change, like that what I just did there, structurally, I think just looks aesthetically a little bit better, although I would definitely go back to white there. But two things that I think will have an impact, or one, I'll do just one more thing that I think will have a big impact on the conversion opportunity of this page is that the sign up button here, one, I think the title could be stronger. So in this case, this is you are signing up for 5 days of free coaching, but this could be a call to action like sign up to receive coaching or register for coaching or something like that. I don't know, Liz, if you have a good suggestion there.
Yeah, I would say either enroll in free coaching or.
That's great.
Yeah.
But the other thing is that this is really low contrast. And for people who have visual impairments, or even people with monitors that are low quality or that have less than perfect settings applied to them, this isn't super readable for people. So what I might do is I might either, if you want it to be in this yellow shade, like that doesn't look great. I'm actually a big fan of some of these just like really bright, in some ways, disruptive buttons, or black or white buttons. I wouldn't use white because your fields here are white, but let's say we pick a color that is a version of this peach, but much darker, just so the contrast is there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that color a lot. So something our creative director told me about call to action buttons is that you want to use a color for your call to action button that really stands out and that you don't use anywhere else on the page. And the reason he recommends that is because then your eye is drawn to it. If you see a lot of the same colors on a page, your eye tends to not be drawn to that as much as a color that contrasts really well. And when it's the only color on the page. And also, little side note, books that are orange sell better than any other book color, and they found that orange is a really effective color for conversion. So little side note there, green they've also found is effective. Red tends to give people like the psychological impression that, you know, to stop. So some studies have found that red converts lower.
I could jump through and do some other things. The last thing I will do is something you mentioned that I also really agree with, is I think you should pull your the section that talks about you, Nina, and your awesome qualifications and who you are, what makes you special. I really think that you should highlight that up on the page. And I might do a couple things a little differently here. What I would likely do is make this image just a little bit smaller, maybe just even like 150 pixels or 200. I definitely don't want to take away from the humanity that you show in this picture. I think it's really awesome. But a few other things I would do here are things that we've talked about previously. I'd add a little padding around this image, maybe 12 pixels or 24 or something like that. And then I would combine this section about you into your certifications and who you are into a single left-aligned content area, maybe something like that. And again, I would be really concerned with consistency. So if your normal text is 18 pixels, make sure your normal text is 18 pixels here as well. So like if I'm looking at this, how big is that? Yeah, that's 18 pixels. I would make sure that this is also 18. Because those are the things that as you're scrolling through a page add up to tell the story of consistency and professionalism in the page. Yeah. Last little thing here, because I'm just like, I can't stop myself from doing this, is consistent padding on this column. And let's see how we're looking. And Liz, you can stop me at any time, because otherwise I will just keep going.
Yeah, we should get to some questions here in a second, but I'll give you 1 second. Okay. 30 seconds.
Sorry. Okay. The last little thing I'm doing is I'm just adding some text formatting just for readability's sake. So the reason I left aligned it is because it is for chunks of text, little chunks of text that you want to call out, like quotes or statements, single statements. Center aligning is great. It's great for headlines, great for subheadings. But if somebody needs to read through a chunky paragraph or multiple paragraphs, you really want to left align. And if you want to call out like a list of certifications, it might sound boring, but use bullet points. Like our brains know how to deal with those things because that's how we read in the day-to-day. Anything you can make it easier you can do to make it easier for people to understand your site and your content without having to relearn things is a win for you. So if you look at this little section, it just more clearly uses patterns that our brains are used to. So I can look at this and say like, okay, well, this is clearly a list. All right, this is certification. These are probably all Nina's amazing certifications. And then here's another little bit about how awesome she is. And I pulled one thing out of order, which is I would make this little section about the actual course. I would put it back where Nina had it initially, right under her promise. So here's the promise. This is how you see that promise fulfilled. This is who is going to fulfill it for you. Here's more information about it.
Great.
Cool.
So awesome. So let's look at some, unfortunately, we do not have time to review more pages. We would love to sit here and look at your pages with you all day. But I know some people have to run. So let's go through some Q&A. For everyone who's asking for a replay of the webinar, I will email out a replay either later today or early tomorrow morning, definitely within 24 hours. If by some chance you don't see that replay in your inbox within the next 24 hours, feel free to email me. You can email me at lizw@aweber.com. Huge props to Nina for her page, and huge props to Sean as well for his page. Thank you for submitting, and thank you for letting us go through feedback. People are dropping in the chat and saying really great work. And it's really awesome to see your offers online and see how you're promoting your business. So we'll definitely send a replay to everyone. So let's look at some questions. If I didn't get to your question, you think I missed it, feel free to drop it back into chat. John says, so is this an opt-in page or a thank you page? In the case of Nina and in the case of Sean, those were both opt-in pages or lead magnet pages or subscribe pages. There's a bunch of different names for them. But with the Aweber landing page builder, you can build pretty much any kind of page you can imagine. It's kind of like a blank slate. We give you templates that you can choose from and that give you some direction, but you have a lot of options to customize those pages.
And give me 30 seconds and I'll show you how Sean could make a thank you page for his page. So cool. Here's his opt-in page. If I hit copy to list and copy it to this same page, I can jump in here, hit change the title to something like thank you. Now, all I have to do is delete that form, say you're subscribed. Check your inbox to confirm your subscription. I'm rushing through this because I want to meet my 30 seconds, and bam.
Yeah.
We have a thank you page too.
Yeah, so you can copy any pages you've already created, which is awesome because if you build a page that you really love, it has your logo on it, it uses this background color that you love, you put a texture on it and a background image, you could just copy that page and then use it a bunch of different times as, you know, your thank you page, as your sales page, and as your subscribe or opt-in page. So someone asked, is there an advantage to using a thank you page instead of just directing people back to your website? And I would say there definitely is an advantage to a thank you page. A thank you page gives people clear directions on what the next step is. The problem with taking someone to the home page of your website is the benefit of it is maybe they'll navigate around and view your website, but they don't have clear directions on what to do next. Your homepage also won't tell them that they successfully subscribed. So your thank you page, what's great about that is you can tell people that they successfully subscribed and you can give them directions to go check their inbox for their first email. So I would definitely use a thank you page if you can. And the nice thing is that you can do that inside Aweber easily. And then we do have a question, which I've heard from one other person one time, which is, can you change the name field to another language?
You cannot yet, although I will definitely take that feedback because it has been something that we've heard a couple times, and I'll say it again. We're working on adding the ability to customize that form in a variety of different ways. I appreciate the feedback a lot.
Cool. So Michael says, if you copy a landing page, can you use it on a different list in your account? Yes, you can. So Chris is showing you right now, you can copy it to any list you would like to. So you can use that on all the lists in your account. But the other thing you can do is you can have multiple landing pages on a single list, and you can apply a different tag to subscribers based off what landing page they fill out. So let's say they complete landing page 1, and so you give them the tag landing page 1. You can then send custom automated emails to people with the landing page 1 tag. You can also send custom one-time or broadcast emails to people with the landing page 1 tag. Then you could have another landing page where you give people a tag of landing page 2, and you can send them custom emails as well. So you can create as many landing pages on a single list as you would like, and tag people to customize emails to them. And for anyone who's still asking for a replay, yes, we will send one out. John says, can we upload a PDF on our thank you page from our computer?
You can't upload a PDF to the landing page directly, but I would echo something that Liz said earlier, that I feel like the best way for you to deliver your lead magnet is through an email in a campaign. So instead of having it on the thank you page or the landing page, having it delivered through an email. And you can add attachments to emails in Aweber. So in that case, I would set up a landing page with a form on it that maybe applied the tag my lead magnet, and then create a campaign that triggered when the tag my lead magnet was applied, and sent them a message with that PDF on it.
Awesome. Cool. So let's see. So another question we're getting is, do you have to use confirmed opt-in? And the answer is no. So you don't have to use confirmed opt-in. Confirmed opt-in is when people subscribe via your landing page or your sign-up form, and then they get another email in their inbox asking them to confirm their subscription. The advantage of confirmed opt-in is it can sometimes increase or enhance your delivery rates, or how likely your email is to reach the inbox. It also makes sure that people really want to be subscribed to your list. But the downside, as we mentioned earlier, is you will lose some subscribers who won't confirm their subscription. So you can choose to use it or not, though. It's up to you.
Yeah.
So one attendee says, I have a lot of people who signed my form, but they are pending. How do I turn them into subscribers? So correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, but I think in that case, you have confirmed opt-in turned on.
Yes.
And if they're pending, that means they haven't confirmed their subscription. And I don't think there's any way to manually override that.
No, that's why it's so important to have a thank you page that directs people clearly to their next step, which in the case of a confirmed opt-in list is to go to the inbox, click the confirmation link. Now, to Liz's point from earlier, there could be one of the nice things about confirmed opt-in is if somebody accidentally put in the wrong email, then they won't count as a subscriber for you, because they'll never end up confirming. But the best thing that you can do there is be really clear on your confirmation thank you page or your sign up thank you page that, okay, I've sent you an email to confirm your interest. Please click the link in that email, and you'll start getting my newsletter or whatever you're sending.
Awesome. And unfortunately, we are at time for questions. If you have questions we did not answer here and you'd like answers, feel free to contact us at help@aweber.com. Our customer solutions team would be glad to help you. But now I want to quickly jump in and ask you all, we've walked through the landing page builder so far. What features do you need or would you like us to add to the landing page builder? We'd love to get your feedback on that. So if you could just drop in the chat and let us know what that must-have feature is for you, or what a feature is that would be really exciting for you, because as Chris mentioned, this is a tool that we're always adding new things to, and we're actively working on. And we just added some new tools to it last week, the week before.
We've added something new to it basically every week to 2 weeks since we launched it.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you can drop in the chat and let us know, we want your feedback. We want to hear how we can make it better for you and what else we can add. And we want this to be the tool for you the landing page tool that you use for your business. So let us know in the chat. And you probably might have seen, but there is an offer in the chat for a 30-day free trial of Aweber. So if you're here, you don't have Aweber and you'd really like to get it and try out our landing page platform, you can go to the link I dropped in the chat, or you can click the offer button to access a 30-day free trial. We would love to have you as a customer and help you through everything.
And please take advantage of that trial. I can't express how fulfilling it feels to build a list of people who are interested in your content. And I'm sure that if you took the time to be on this webinar today, you have something really beneficial and positive to offer your audience. And again, we are here to help you, whether it's help with getting started or help with technical implementation, or if you have a landing page that you want to critique on, like we're here for you, and we want you to be successful. And we really believe in the power of email to build businesses and change lives. So take advantage of the trial and reach out to us when you do.
Absolutely. We like to say that Aweber is powerfully simple because it's easy for every small business and every marketer to easily use the tool. You don't need coding skills. I certainly don't have them, but I would consider myself an expert in the tool. And I'm definitely not a technical expert. It's really powerful and simple for everyone to use the tool. So thank you so much for being on here with us today. If you had to deal with any technical issues, our apologies. We will be emailing out a replay, and we're really glad to have you on today. And have a great rest of your day.
Oops.